Sex symbol love by every girl. Sex symbol love by every girl.
So instead of just having fun with his friends, he was looked at as like a buzzkill, basically. He was like a pet.
He's branded as someone that he's just not. He said it himself.
I just needed a moment of silence. That's crazy.
Literally in Habit, when he says, took some time because I ran out of energy of playing someone I've heard I'm supposed to be. I use this lyric as an example a lot because it speaks.
That's a lyric?
Niall's mic would be cut off. And talking about this is going to make me cry. It makes me...
What? Let me know in the comments. If you guys were the parent of one of these, of a member, One Direction, what would you say? What would you do? Would you sue? Would you talk to the management? Like, what would you do? I'm sorry. What's good with you, Kuna Crew? Today, we are going to be doing
a Halloween special.
We are going to be reacting to the dark side of One Direction. Now, you thought Dracula was bad. Wait until you see this guy. This guy. So like for a long period of time, you guys have been telling me how bad Simon is, right? So I decided on stream to figure out what did he do to y'all. You feel me? Like, what did he do? So this is live on stream. I was like going through a bunch of videos trying to figure out what did he do, and out of nowhere, somebody in the chat, an angel if you will, this angel straight up said in the chat, watch the dark side of One Direction. Straight up. Amazing. Didn't even know there was a dark side, to be honest. I thought it was just him, but apparently there's more to the story. So with that being said, as usual, link to the video down below. Let's get straight to the video. Alright, this is a long video. Alright, now I already know what you're thinking.
King Kahuna, you're funny, but I can't watch you for 46 minutes, bro. It's not possible.
I get it. It's okay. I edit. I'm gonna cut it up into pieces. I'm only gonna really show like the best parts or like the most shocking parts to me. So yeah, gonna make this video a lot shorter. This video is made by Hey Angel. If you want to see like the full video unedited by me, I'm gonna leave the link to the video down below. So now that we got that wrapped up, let's actually watch the video. All right.
Is anybody ready for this?
Oh, for God's sake, now!
I am.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time watching me, hello, my name is Jasmine. This is my channel, Hey Angel, where I make One Direction videos, updates, reactions, entertainment videos, anything related to the One.
So her channel, her entire channel is based off of One Direction. So she's like a guru. She's like the ultimate One Directioner. That's all I need to know. This is gonna be full of facts.
Boys, it's all here. But I also have a main channel called Jasmine Zay. If you want to go check out my vlogs and other stuff, it's always linked in the description. I think the main reason I do want to film this video is to get across that yes, One Direction seemed to be a boy band that had it all, but there was a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't even aware of. And it is something that needs to be brought to light and that people should know about them because they went through a lot. So with all of that being said, we can get started with this monster of a video. Here we have the dark side of One Direction.
Let's go.
So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to things that were wrong with One Direction is how heavily branded and marketed they were by their management and their team and Simon Cowell.
Issue 1. One Direction's management were the sole deciders of the boys' appearances. And I remember that, yeah, the personalities and how they were perceived. Yeah, nah, I remember that. Imagine someone basically deciding who you are. And like, that messes you up as a kid.
Basically what I mean is how they looked and how they were perceived was completely decided by their management and their team and everyone in charge in order to make them likable and appeal to a certain specific audience. Like I said, in this case, it was teenage girls. I filmed a video before when I was talking about unpopular One Direction opinions, and in that video I mentioned that One Direction was not a band, they were a brand. And that is my favorite saying to use whenever...
Okay.
First and foremost, I think the lightest part about being branded is the fact that they were being told how to dress constantly. I think this is most prominent in the Up All Night era, obviously, because Harry was famous for wearing like blazers, and then Liam would wear like the plaid. and Zayn would have the varsity jackets, Niall would have like the polo, and then Louis obviously had stripes.
For the most part, like I've seen them when they were young and like the color coordinated stuff. It was kind of stupid. Can we talk about it? Like, someone can make an argument that it was cute. I get that. But let's be honest.
That isn't something to really blink too much at. It's not really that big of a deal that they were being told how to dress. Because, I mean, they were really young at the time and they were new to the spotlight. So, of course, they had to have some kind of guidance, some kind of style. They couldn't just go out there wearing whatever they want and look ununiform, really. So, I guess it does make sense that they were dressing a certain way, but I just decided to mention it because it goes along with what I'm going to be talking about how they were separated and branded a certain way as individual people. There's an article that I'm going to have linked down below.
She's pretty. You know what, now I think about it, I've never seen an ugly One Direction fan. I've never seen an ugly One Direction fan. I think we're all just beautiful people. Just a thought. I don't know why. I was just thinking that.
Where Liam talks all about how they were made to dress a specific way and how he couldn't even wear stripes. Like, he was not allowed to wear stripes because it was Louis' thing.
What?
That's when I start having a problem. Like, you see these boys and it's like, okay, they're being told how to dress when they're on stage, when they're doing a photo shoot, whatever. But it got to a point where they were just not allowed to dress a certain way anywhere. Like, out in public, in pictures, or anything. Because that was the other boy's brand. Like, Liam talked about how he could not be seen wearing stripes because that was Louis' brand and Louis' thing and it belonged to him. They were told throughout their whole career how they had to have their hair. They could not, like, pick. Harry opened up in an interview quite recently, like a few months ago, he opened up in an interview about how he was made to wear those, like, tight curls that he used to have in his hair back in, like, 2010, 2011, 2012-ish.
Oh, these. Okay. Alright, yeah. He didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like it. But I understand if he doesn't like it. It suits him though, I'm not gonna lie.
But it's not just about the appearance. The branding thing also applies to their personalities, roles in the band, how they behave, and how they're perceived. So basically, right from the start, when One Direction signed with Simon, they were assigned these roles or aesthetics or whatever you want to call it in the band. I think the most obvious one was them branding Harry as the flirt, womanizer. Even before the boys got out of the X Factor house, producers and Simon were already trying to brand him as a flirt. Like, there's segments on the X Factor where they make Harry, like, play a segment where he's, like, trying to go on a date with multiple girls.
Why haven't you returned my text? I don't believe this.
And there's even more girls.
Why have you not returned my text?
This gets better, doesn't it?
Honey, I've texted you like 5 times.
Unbelievable.
Harry's
Those
a
are
flirty
grown
woman.
women. Wait, what the heck? I swear those are grown women. Wasn't he like 15? No, 16 at the time? 16, 17 at the time?
Girls? Why have you not returned my text?
This gets better, doesn't it?
Honey, I've texted you.
She definitely has a child. There is no way that lady does not have a child. There's no way. Nah, what the heck is she doing with this 16-year-old?
Unbelievable. How many are there?
And everyone's like, oh, Harry's the flirty one. Like, he was branded that way before he was even out of the X Factor house, which blows my mind, and we'll get into more of that later. Like, Harry and his womanizer image. That's a whole other thing that we need to talk about, but all the other boys had their roles too. They branded Zayn as this, like, super dark and mysterious, cool kind of guy. And they branded Liam as, like, you know, the daddy of the group, the sensible one, kind of holding the band together. They branded Louis as, like, this class clown, funny, boyfriend material type of person, which that was fitting for Louis at the time, but then as Louis grew up, his brand changed.
I was gonna say, he's kind of like that, though. Like, he's really, like, when I see him on stage and everything like that, he's always seemed like the silly, I guess, it just seemed so natural.
Now, this may seem kind of harmless, but it ended up actually really interfering with their personal image and their lives, and ended up staying with them and being carried with them throughout the rest of their time in One Direction. And I'm going to give you some examples. This is what Zayn had to say about his brand in One Direction, like how he was branded and marketed. Quote, "I'm actually quite easy, a happy-go-lucky sort of guy," he says. "But there was a lot of situations that were almost created to make me be portrayed as the mysterious or quiet one. I guess that's just something that people buy into, and it helps them sell things. It's a product that's already designed, and it sells." So Zayn said it himself that he was branded as someone that he's just not. He said it himself.
I just needed a moment of silence. That's crazy.
That he feels like his management was branding them specific ways to get things to sell, and that's exactly what they were doing. But it's just really sad to read this quote because Zayn said that he's like not the mysterious one. He wants to be happy-go-lucky just like the rest of them, but he couldn't.
I feel like if all of them are funny and all of them are just laughing and stuff like that, that would have been great. I don't know why one of them had to play like the dark, mysterious one. The other one had to be messing with the girls and all this other stuff. The daddy of the group. Just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's sad.
Fader, where Zayn opens up about being the only one in a group of boys who's like a person of color and, you know, he's Muslim and stuff. He opened up about it and how hard it was for him at times with fans giving him a rough time and his branding and all of that. So if you want to check out the full interview, like I said, it will be in the description. It's definitely worth a read. I got a lot of information from Zayn from this just one interview, this one story. Had lots and lots of really useful information as to how he was treated when he was in One Direction. Then that brings me to what I was talking about earlier, how Harry's image is also harmful. We talked about how Zayn's image is harmful and how that's not even who he is.
Yeah.
But for Harry, it's the same way. He was branded as this flirty womanizer that likes older women since he was 16.
That's why. Okay, I was like, yo, there is no way.
He's 16, not even 17, not even 18. Like 18 would still be pretty bad, but 16? So then by the time he was famous, he didn't have a chance to show the world who he really is. He didn't have a chance to be like, hi, I'm Harry Styles, this is who I am and this is what I stand for, because his management decided it for him before he could even go out into the world and prove himself.
Right.
They already decided for him, nope, you're a flirty womanizer who wants to sleep with older women and wants to sleep around. It makes me so angry, so sick to think about that, because that ended up following Harry his entire life. Still to this day, people like to think that he is that way. It is something that has always followed him his entire career. He grew up in the spotlight with that label on him. Hundreds and thousands of people not even knowing him personally and just being like, oh yeah, the flirt, the womanizer, the one who sleeps around, like without even giving him a chance. Because that's how his management wanted him to be branded for whatever reason. Which eventually spread to like media. So then interviewers will sit down with him and think it's perfectly funny and normal to sit down and be like, oh, so how many women have you slept with? Are you looking for an older woman? Or making parody songs about him liking older women and all this. Like, they just think that that's their place to just do that because that's who he is. When it's really truly not. And there's been countless times when Harry has tried to defend himself and he has said it over and over again, like, women are not objects, treat women with respect. And I'm not like that. And he's always tried to...
That's why he was like, I like girls. When I was reacting to the Larry video and stuff like that, he just randomly was like, I like girls.
I like girls.
Cara Delevingne dating Extra Factor host Caroline Flack with an ever-growing list of women attached to
Famously dating models, actresses.
Ordered fling with 32-year-old.
her. Has a thing for a cougar or two.
She's just a friend. Right.
She looked forward to seeing your girl Cara walking down the runway.
You know what we're doing.
You've dated probably more, am I right, than more high profile?
I guess.
Yeah, there's gonna be a sex symbol loved by every girl. Sex symbol loved by every girl.
You're like what? You're the womanizer, right? You're the guy who likes the ladies.
No, he's gone for his special massage.
I wasn't aware of
It was special
Back
massage.
and shoulders. Just verify.
The lady looks really happy.
Harry, there was a rumor that you had a crush as well. Is that true?
Me? I know. Come on.
No. Really? Harry?
I mean, I've got a lot of friends, and some of them are girls, and apparently I'm dating all of them.
He has to go through a lot of different things from being Mr. Harry Styles.
People write about Harry all the time in a negative way with all his love life and stuff. I think, you know, it'd be nice to get it out there that he's actually a pretty genuine dude. Out there that he's actually a pretty genuine dude.
Harry Styles invites multiple girls to hotel rooms, so over Taylor Swift. Harry Styles reveals how many women he's slept with. One Direction's Harry Styles hits the town with mystery girl, new girlfriend. Sexual predator? 6 years old? That gotta be a joke. This one's definitely a joke. Harry Styles has been picking girls up since he was 6 years old. Like, what's the even, like, who would even click that? Like, why does that matter? Harry Styles' dad tells him to stop being a bad boy. I shouldn't be laughing. This is actually sad. 27 people.
Management took advantage of this, he says, telling him his very specific role in the group was to keep the rest in line. I was like, that's great, innit? Because then everyone in the band thinks I'm a dick. He remembers one of the band's first hotel stays. We've got plates being thrown out the window, mattresses being ridden down the stairs, and I'm getting calls from the manager saying, you need to sort it out.
So instead of just having fun with his friends, he was looked at as like a buzzkill, basically. Like, he was just like, while everybody was just laughing, you know, just having a blast, he was just the guy who was like, hey guys, stop it, stop it, stop. Like, he was like a pet at a young age too. He couldn't even have fun. He already has like a parental role as a young child. Like, that's, let me know in the comments if you guys were the parent of one of these, you know, of a member, you know, One Direction. What would you say? What would you do? Would you sue? Would you talk to the management? Like, what would you do?
It wasn't lost on the fans, where Malik and Styles were heartthrobs. Payne says he was classed as Mr. Boring. When you're at the stadium and you get the least amount of screams, it's like, for fuck's sake. Not only was Lee...
Oh my god. The least amount of scream. Oh my god. I know that's the worst feeling.
So then that brings me to another little rant about Louis and how he was branded and how that affected him. They changed his branding, I'd say well into like late 2013-ish is when Louis' brand and how he was perceived by the media and the public was changed very drastically. They started making him out to be like this super aggressive type of person, getting in all these fights and being super sarcastic and not getting along with his fans and spinning stories in the media a certain way to make him look like just unbearable.
What? I gotta see examples.
People still perceive Louis as this super aggressive person who only cares about going out and partying and smoking and getting drunk.
Do people really though? I don't know.
Literally how people see him, like people just choose to ignore every other thing that he says about himself and just see him as this like super aggressive, homophobic, I don't give a fuck about anything type of person. Louis has said in interviews before that he's a romantic at heart, that he wears his heart on his sleeves, that he likes candles. He has fairy lights up all around his house. He likes flowers, literally daffodils. He likes to read books, and people just completely disregard that. Literally in Habit, when he says, took some time because I ran out of energy of playing someone I've heard I'm supposed to be, I use this lyric as an example a lot because it speaks...
That's a lyric? No
volumes.
way.
Like, listen to him. This next little section that I want to get into is kind of similar to what I was already just talking about. It kind of branches off on that, but it's more about being controlled rather than being like branded and marketed a certain way.
What is that? Issue 2, One Direction had their entire lives manipulated and controlled by their management, not just their appearances. So their lives were manipulated. I'm trying to think, like, what does that mean? Like, how can you manipulate someone's life?
You can media train them and you can tell them like what to say and how to be when they're in public, but they still have their own like conscious choices to make. But
humans.
It's easier to control them when you're doing it via social media. Their management literally tweeted for them all of the time. And there's a very distinct difference between how they tweet when they're tweeting and how they sound when their management tweets for them. There's been multiple instances where people have literally caught their management tweeting for them. So whenever management feels like they need something to happen, for whatever reason, they will literally go on the boys' pages and tweet for them, regardless of if that tweet is something that the boys agree with or not, or if they're doing something they agree with or not. It doesn't matter. And that goes along with planting quotes in articles too. The thing about One Direction's management is that they're able to have paparazzi photos of whatever they want, and they're able to have articles published about whatever they want. If they want to stir up a crazy rumor about one of the boys that's completely not true, they have sources that they can run a story to that's completely fake, that magazine or publisher, whatever company, will literally run. And then the entire world believes this crazy story that their management planted. Like, where did this rumor come from? It came from the management themselves. However they want people to see these boys, they can do it just by calling up their sources, calling up their colleagues and being like, hey, I need you to run this completely bullshit story. And then people are going to believe it. Another thing with that is like paparazzi walks, or pop walks, whatever you want to call them. Whenever their management wants them to be seen out in public with someone, they do. Like, they'll literally set it up, stage it, whatever. They'll go outside, hire paparazzi.
That's what sending paparazzi when all they want is just privacy. Nah, that's sad. And I feel like that happens to a lot of people, and we just don't know.
It happens a lot in the music industry. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about with One Direction happens in the music industry. That's just how it works.
I just said that.
Kind of going along with that, like, the boys are always instructed, or were always instructed to do things just because their management told them to. Like, one video that comes to mind in particular is when Harry was literally instructed to give Caroline Flack a big bouquet of flowers when they were going on to do an interview. And instead, Harry chose to give them to Ollie. So basically what I'm saying here with all of this stuff is that they were just completely controlled. They really didn't have any sense of freedom.
What?
If all of this, Harry chose to give them to Ollie.
Because she was reaching out for him, right? Or was she waving?
Instead, Harry chose to give them to Ollie.
She was pointing, I think. She's pointing. Yeah, she only had one hand up. He was the one reaching for it. Alright, so yeah, that's different. Okay. Alright.
So basically what I'm saying, freedom.
Right.
If you put together all of the branding that they went through and like how they had to behave, and then you add that with them being constantly told what to say, quotes being planted for them, being forced to go out and be seen by the paparazzi with whoever they wanted, and not being allowed to say and do certain things, like all of that in this one bubble is like them being completely controlled. And it gets to a point where it's like, these boys were not human beings. They were like money-making robots to their management. Their management didn't give a fuck about how they wanted to dress, how they wanted to look, how they wanted to be perceived. Another thing kind of going along with what I'm talking about that's really just messed up when it comes to their management and Simon is that in the first era of One Direction, Up All Night, they didn't even believe in Louis and Niall at all. Like, Louis and Niall were pretty much useless to these people. They were just there to be there. They didn't give Louis and Niall, like, solo. And when they did get solos, they were short solos, or they were not really solos because there was another boy, like, harmonizing with them while they were singing. I think that's a really well-known fact, is that these boys didn't get a lot of solos, Niall and Louis, in the Up All Night era. But not only were they robbed of solos, there was so many different times when Niall's mic would be cut off. And talking about this is gonna make me cry. It makes me...
What? I remember someone telling me that in the comments in the Niall video. I completely forgot about that, bro. That's sad. Oh my god. Oh my... They cut out his mic?
So sad. They would legit sabotage him. Like, in his own band, they would cut his mic off so that he would be singing and nobody would hear him. So a lot of times when Niall's mic would cut off, Louis would have to give him the microphone.
What? What?
The microphone.
Nah, bro, nah, that takes the cake. I'm not gonna lie to you, that did it for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're so confused and they don't know what's going on. Louis, oh my, that's crazy. Oh my god. I didn't realize the severity of the situation. Like, I didn't even realize it was this bad. Like, where they would just share mics. Like, that's, bro. I thought they were just singing and they probably just lowered his voice a little bit or something like that. But this is embarrassing. They legit embarrassed Niall. Nah, bro.
You imagine how that must feel when you're this young boy who's in this like super rapidly growing in fame boy band. Like, they were becoming really, really famous in this time, and you want to be there just as much as everyone else. This is your dream, but they think you're not good enough. Then why am I here? Why are we doing this?
Yes, I just started crying while editing this video because it's getting to me so bad. But just another thing that I wanted to mention is that, like, this whole Niall's mic getting cut off thing happened so often.
Bro, I got up because of it. That's crazy. Like, that's actually like insane. Cutting out his mic. And he's like the nicest one. He doesn't cause any trouble. He's really just there, you know, just to support his family, just to have a good time, you feel me? Hang out with his friends. And they do him dirty. It's something that he loves. It's something that he enjoys. And for Louis to constantly have to share the mics, that's, especially when you understand like the context behind it, it's heartbreaking. It's truly it's embarrassing, inhumane, just immoral in every degree. Like, it's crazy. Like, what's the point of him being there? Like, and he. There's no point. There's literally no. You're wasting his time. You're wasting his youth. You're wasting his talent. He could have had his own shining moment, but for some reason you choose to do him so dirty. Like, I could legit make this a whole video, bro.
That fans started trending like hashtag let Niall sing, and that became like a really, really common saying back in this time because fans were so used to Niall not being able to sing. And since this happened to Louis back in this time as well, like him not getting enough stage time and like solo time, he ended up saying later in his career that he didn't even want to go solo when the band broke up because he didn't feel like he would do well enough. And that stems from him always being made to feel like he wasn't good enough when he was in One Direction. So that's why I'm so incredibly proud of Louis and Niall now, because they've overcome so much of that, and now they're both doing perfect, and it makes me really happy.
And that just goes along with what I'm saying. Like, whatever their management wants for them, they will make that happen for them. Oh, I don't want this boy to sing. Cut his mic off. Like, he doesn't get any solos. He's not good enough. Like, you don't get to sing.
Hello. I ended the video right here because I didn't really say much after, you know, what she said. Just know that the whole situation is messed up, and I'm surprised that I didn't know any of this stuff. You know, like, you guys would tell me in the comments certain things. Some of them very detailed, some of them very vague. But like, seeing it, like when she showed the videos, it hit so differently. It would hit so differently. Like, I can't even like put into words how I felt seeing that. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't even want them together anymore. You know, like with the management. You know, I wouldn't want them making a comeback if they're working with the same management. It's just not cool. It's not. I can see why Zayn left. I'm surprised they came back, but I wouldn't even want them to come back again. Nah. This is me wearing a shirt. But if you made it this far of the video, put Hey Kahuna. Just put Hey Kahuna. I don't know, something. Just put Hey Kahuna. That's pretty much it. This is what I look like when I'm wearing a shirt. Let me know if I should wear it more often. As usual, peace and love.